There's definitely a lot to think about when the Eagles did sign Julio Jones to that 1-year deal. What does it mean? How much playing time is he getting? How are they using him? I think that signing is a lot bigger than what it is.
We better do it. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. So, I want to go over some news. Couple of things I want to kind of speculate on, which I think are pretty true. I mean, I could be wrong, but from what it looks like, okay, now you're looking at a brand new wide receiver core with Julio Jones involved in the mix, okay? Now, interesting enough, okay, why is Julio Jones signing with the Eagles? Okay, what would make him sign here? Now, I know AJ Brown and him have been close, and AJ Brown is the one that recruited Julio Jones to Tennessee at the time, so I understand that aspect of it. But when I really think about it, like, is Julio Jones really signing with the Eagles to take a back seat? To be a depth piece for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I don't know what his contract is for the 1 year. It's probably not much, but this is the end of Julio Jones' career. He's 34 years old, 4 different teams in 4 years, okay? There's an understanding that Julio Jones kind of wants to go out with a bang and kind of show everybody that he could still play. Julio Jones isn't our number one or number two, or maybe not even our number three, with Zacchaeus even being here. But as a number four to a number three-ish, I think for the value that he's going to bring to this team, don't know if he still has that vertical threat like he used to. I think AJ Brown had a lot to do with getting Julio Jones to Philadelphia. I think he went to Howie, and I think they were looking at receivers. They had that Marquez Callaway. He worked out for the Eagles, and there must have been some type of change of mind. Like if they were going to sign Julio this whole entire time, they would have just signed him. They wouldn't have worked out Marquez Callaway. I think AJ Brown had a lot to do with it. On Twitter, he was very vocal about it, talking about not in sentences, but just my bro, just tweeting something out on the move in general. I think this move is a lot bigger than everyone thinks. I think the Eagles are looking for Julio Jones to be, okay, the number 3 receiver to the Eagles. Might sound crazy. Okay, maybe they are trying to phase Zacchaeus out. I can't put much blame on Zacchaeus. I think Zacchaeus has done everything he's possibly could have done for this team. Been doing a lot of the dirty work with the blocking, especially downfield as well. And the opportunities have arrived with him. He has done a pretty solid job for the Eagles. Is he as much of a burner as Quez Watkins? I still think there is some speculation right now that they're going to move Quez Watkins by the end of the trade deadline and at least get a pick for him. I think they want to get a value, big vet at wide receiver. Guys, it's weird to say, but we haven't had like a vet at wide receiver, at least that old, in a while. It's been a while since we had like a big time vet at that position. Excluding Zach Ertz at tight end, or something like that, or getting Alshon Jeffrey at an older age, something like that. So, 34 years old. Is Julio Jones really taking a back seat? Is he signing with the Eagles just because A.J. Brown is here and he's just going to be a backup that's never going to play? No, I think he's signing here because they are guaranteeing he's going to get. The Eagles are guaranteeing he's going to get a lot of playing time. And I understand people are like, well, what does it matter if he's here? BrianJohnson can't even get Dallas Goedert open. Even if Julio Jones is used for red zone, what's the difference in using him in that aspect? It makes no sense. I understand that people can't get excited about an offensive move right now because the offense did not play good going through week 6 of the season against the New York Jets. Looked very subpar. We played down to the competition. There's no doubt about it. Um, I think that Julio Jones is going to get a lot more playing time than anyone thinks. I mean, I don't know how good a shape he's in, what his body is now, and he's got to stay healthy. That's the number one thing that needs to work out right now. But I feel like you have a 7-time Pro Bowler that learns a playbook pretty damn easily and learns fast. And I think having him in the slot might do us a lot more good than we realize. The Eagles are not waiting on Quez Watkins to get healthy for the second time with this hamstring injury. Zacchaeus is going to get playing time, but I think it's going to be a lot lower. I think they want a big-time vet, a big body with some speed. Like I said, don't know how much the vertical speed is now. We're going to find out. But I think this is more than just Julio Jones signing as a depth piece. I feel like Julio Jones is going to play a lot. Could be wrong, could be right, don't know. But that's what it's looking like, okay? The best team for Julio Jones to go to is the Philadelphia Eagles, where he can go out of his career with a bang if this is his last year of his career. He didn't sign with any team this whole entire year since the season started, so he was preparing himself. We don't know what he's been doing this off, pretty much during the season on his off time, what's been going on. But to add him in as a number 3 to a number 4, it's a very, very good value. Number 2, the pressure is not going to be on him. It's not going to be up to Julio Jones to make these big-time plays because of all the playmakers you have in this offense. So I don't think there's pressure on him at all. He is just a luxury if he stays healthy and to see what he could do at his age, okay? Trust me, a lot of years have passed by knowing Julio Jones and what he's done to us over the years against really bad cornerbacks for the Philadelphia Eagles over the years, has been kind of crazy to watch, okay? He is much deserving of what he's going to get, whether it's Hall of Fame or whatnot, and especially for what he's done for Atlanta. Just had a few stints in that, between Atlanta, between, Tennessee, between Tampa Bay, that he would have been that piece for Tampa Bay, but just couldn't stay healthy at times, so I feel like it's just a lot more than what it is, and it's exciting to see what's going to happen with it. I know a lot of Eagles fans are down right now, but I think we got to start putting our heads up a little bit and think that, I'm glad that, I'm glad they lost. I'm glad that now they have something they have to fight for now, and, sometimes they needed a kick in the ass. Maybe they were feeling themselves up the last 5 weeks. Who knows? You never know what the team could be feeling down the stretch. Now, Bradley Roby, this is the bad news here. Now, Bradley Roby just signed not even a week ago, and he's already hurt with the shoulder injury. Playing at MetLife, thank God we only have to play there one more time, but Jesus Christ, man, it's been crazy. It's been insane. So it looks like Bradley Roby has a shoulder injury, and he'll be a week to week. Okay, so he will either play, he'll be here for next game against Washington, or he'll be here against the Cowboys. So from one of those two games, most likely, or he'll be back after Miami. So we'll see what happens, but it just sucks. We just signed him and thought he's really done a really good job. Second half of that Rams game, they were rotating the nickel corners in the first half of the Rams game. Then they really start to, settle him in the second half. So with more time, Roby, I think is going to do pretty good here. I mean, I think he's pretty solid for a vet, and I think he's fine. And I think, sucks that we have to wait, but the Eagles had to make a secondary move to this because now it's like, oh, we signed Roby. Now he's hurt. What do we do now? Well, the Eagles did sign back Josiah Scott. I understand people are going to be really pissed about this. This was a quick fix type move. The bright side of Josiah, I know, but before the season started, we said Josiah Scott cannot make this roster. It was Zach McPherson, Avonte Maddox, Mario Goodrich. Those guys were really shining over Josiah Scott. Josiah Scott has had some good plays with us, but, he's been very suspect in coverage. But, okay, for a quick fix, it's not a bad move. For a quick fix, it's not the best move, but it's a move to where he knows the players, he knows the defense. You could put him right in and he could play. That's what you're getting out of Josiah Scott. And who knows, he might make some plays against Miami. I don't know. So this was a quick fix move, and I'm not saying Josiah Scott is the best nickel corner we've ever had because he's definitely not the best or one of the best. Okay, he's low tier. He's low tier, but with good pieces around him, there are times where he does shine. It's not going to be all the time, but it's going to show at times. So this was a quick fix move. It's not a brand new player that's walking in, and it's not Mario Goodrich. Mario Goodrich had one start, against the Rams and stuff like that. Maybe played against the Jets, but Josiah Scott has had a lot of starting experience with the Eagles over the past couple seasons. So it's a quick fix. It's a good fix, and it's something that we could just take advantage of right now. And, we'll see how he does. But I'm not hating it so much. I'd rather put him in than put a guy that's never played, a guy either from an outside organization or someone that's been a free agent that's never been around this team, around this fan, around anything Philadelphia-wise. This guy knows what it's like to play here, and he knows the guys, knows the coaches, knows everything. So, like I said, it's a solid move. It's not going to get us far. He's not going to blow us away with anything, but he will make plays at times, and it will be very up and down for him, but he knows this defense. We've been talking about the Eagles when it comes to, who are they going after? They signed Julio Jones. There is another move in progress here. A secondary move is going to happen. Eagles have been kind of going around the league seeing what's available here. We talked about Justin Simmons. We talked about Budda Baker. We talked about, obviously Jeremy Chin, which I think Jeremy Chin will be the cheapest options out of Budda Baker and or Justin Simmons if that's the case. You're going after two rosters that are having a really bad year, and you got to take advantage of it. And, two teams that really need picks, draft capital, that's where they're really needy and I think very desperate in that aspect of things. Budda Baker put a tweet, so a ninja, whatever this means, I don't know. It was stupid. I'm just putting it up. It's speculation. Take it with a grain of salt. It is what it is. So, whatever the ninja emoji means, people are speculating that maybe something's going to happen with him soon. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's just between his salary, between the cap hit, they would have to extend him on a longer deal. I mean, they would have to at this point. But the Eagles need to bring somebody in. I mean, it's got to happen. But there's other options out there. Maybe not the high-priced top-tier options. People like Jaylen Hawkins that was released from the Falcons. Played all 16 games for the Falcons last year. 4 career interceptions. A lot of Falcons fans are actually really surprised over this move for some reason. Don't know the guy personally. I've been following him every single year, but apparently didn't really play that bad last year. So there are, high tier to mid to low tier moves, and this would be like a mid to low tier move for the Eagles, which he is a free agent. You don't have to trade for him. You just sign him, and that's it. See what he could do because I don't really know the player that well. But going after Budda, Chin, Chin will be the cheaper option out of Budda and Justin Simmons most likely. So you're going after, two rosters between Carolina and Denver that need, like I said, that need draft capital and kind of just need help as possible into the coming drafts. They've given up a lot for players. Carolina doesn't have a first-round pick, and Denver gave up a lot of picks for Russell Wilson. So I heard there's price tags everywhere that anybody is up for grabs on that defense if the price is right for that Denver defense specific players. Patrick Surtain's another one, which, there's a lot of Eagles fans that would give up a first round pick for him, especially, me and Joe Castro talked last night on the stream about a Patrick Surtain trade, and the Eagles, between your corners are going to be Slay's out the door after next year, and Bradbury is out after 2 more years here. I mean, and Devontae Max isn't going to be here after this year. It's done. They're not re-signing him. He's a $10 million cap hit. They're not extending him. Too much of a liability. Eagles should trade him and obviously get some cap back, and we're able to get a draft pick out of it too, which is good. So, like I said, there's a lot of moves out there the Eagles can make. It just depends on what they want to spend. I don't know if Howie Roseman has a limit on draft capital. Would he actually will use one of our extra second-round picks for something? Is he into trading a third or fourth? What is the highest bid he will go for a specific player in this secondary? I think it'd be interesting to see what happens. And lastly, I want to go over Sean Desai with his press conference. Had a lot to say about going into Miami. I want to read this whole entire quote that he said at his press conference to see, I think I'll give you a pretty much information on after I read this. So this is what Sean Desai had to say. I'm preparing for the Miami Dolphins for their speed of their offense. He says, we're going to have a long discussion about that today as a staff. I wouldn't say it's a mismatch, but one thing that always wants to pride ourselves on defense is playing physical. And in my experience, even going back to my days at Temple and coaching special teams, speed can hurt you, but physicality can hurt speed. We want to be able to counteract. We want to be able to swarm the ball carriers. and run and make sure we are around the ball as much as we can be, and bring in a lot of bodies around the ball and try to get back to create some turnovers and getting the ball out as well. I really do like this quote from Sean Desai. Now, it's willing that he's going to do it. I have to give Sean Desai some credit here because he has made adjustments. He does blitz. He does run stunts. He does move these linebackers up a little bit, play in the box a little bit at times. But the off coverage, obviously the off-the-ball coverage, is really the only problem we have with this defense. But this week, they have to probably play a lot of off the ball. I mean, this is a game where I think they've given too much respect with these cornerbacks to certain guys throughout some of the weeks here. But this week with Tyreek Hill and Waddle and some of these other guys, you got a lot of speed there. Devin or Kane, the running back, will not be playing in this game, but still a lot of weapons for Tua. You get Jalen Carter back into this lineup, which he was sorely missed versus the Jets, even though the Eagles were, defensive line did very good in that second half. The adjustments were fantastic, really giving the ball back to the offense multiple times. The offense just couldn't do anything with it. But when it comes to, I think as a front, I think this is the best front Miami is going to be facing. Miami is good in the trenches. I think the Eagles are better in the trenches than Miami. This is the best team offensive line-wise if Lane is playing this week, which sounds good, and defensive line. They've never faced a defensive line like this. Hassan Reddick, we're already at 5.5 sacks, leading the defensive line in sacks right now, already being off the cast, a couple games already, as he's starting to rise up. His statistics are starting to rise up, starting to get a lot of pressure on the edge, which is a great thing. Jalen Carter is just, I bet he's very excited. It's coming to a point now where, and it's so early in his career because it's his rookie year and he's only only going to go into 7 games in now, is without Jalen Carter in the lineup, it really shows there is a big difference in productivity and just disrupting offensive lines and getting in the backfield and really not even getting the sacks, but helping other players make plays and helping their statistics out, which that's what Jalen Carter is doing. It's like 22, 23 pressures on 3 sacks for the season. It's kind of like, not having Aaron Donald and still getting pressure on quarterbacks, but it's just not looking the same. And Carter just blows crap up right in front of him, and it's just, it's amazing. It's like he's gonna be an Eagles great. That's how much of a difference maker he is on this defensive line. So I think when it comes to the trenches, the Eagles are better than Miami. Miami can pass the ball 40 times because they have this big playability, okay? Because it's a week-to-week league at the end of the day, okay? Miami scores 70 points on the Broncos. Then the Bills destroy Miami. Then Miami faces the Giants, still scores 30-plus points on them, but I thought the Giants ran the ball on them very well. The Eagles could run on that defensive line. I know they can. And there was a couple throws from Tua that looked pretty damn bad, and the Giants scored on a couple of them for certain reasons. So I feel like the Miami's facing the best defensive line they're going to be facing. Now, it obviously depends on, can they generate the pass rush long enough? Can the coverage be good? Tua's going to get the ball out of his hands, no doubt. We have to get hands on Tua and get him down to the ground and just make him panic throw. He's had panic throws this year. He's had a couple picks because of it. It has happened. It's not impossible. They're not unstoppable. They're human beings just like us, okay? They just have that big playability that the Eagles have to watch out for. They have to keep Tyreek Hill underneath, and I like that Sean Desai wants to get more hands-on. I think he's going to blitz more. He's going to run more stunts. He gets Jalen Carter back. And he's probably going to tell these corners, if we're playing back, if someone's in front of you, push them real hard, get them off balance on their routes. We have to disrupt the route. Can't just put our arms around their waist and follow them wherever they go, because they're going to get beat downfield easily. Okay, they're going to get beat. We're going to get beat sooner or later in that game. It's going to happen sooner or later. And if they play it perfectly, they got to just push these guys off their routes. Like, just push them and try to just slow them down a little bit. That's what I'm saying. That's what he's saying by bringing some more physicality. It's not just for the defensive line. I think it's for these cornerbacks too. They can't just be very light and just cover them with space. They can't rely on pure coverage space to win this football game. It's going to come down to just push the guy. Who cares? You know what I mean? just get them, just disrupt them off that route and make sure they're just not getting a free release. They're going to have a free release, but it's really coming off the break of that route, kind of getting them off there, slowing them down a little bit is what's going to matter. And this defensive line can hit home. It can hit home tremendously. So I'm very excited for that. And I like those words from Desai. Like I said, I think I'm worried about the offense more than the defense. As much as I don't like the off-the-ball coverage, I totally get it. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about everything we've talked about in this video. How do you feel about, Julio Jones in general? And do you think that, this is more than him being a depth piece? I think they want him to be a big target for the Philadelphia Eagles for the rest of the season to really fight for a Super Bowl championship. Josiah Scott goes in for Roby this week, if that's a good move or not. And we talked about the Budda Baker tweet. What are the Eagles going after? The moves are not done yet. Desai's comments on Miami speed and showing that physicality. What do you guys think? Leave a comment in the comment section below. If you lasted this long in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and make sure you like the video as well for more Eagles content every single day. You guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Chicks, what up? Follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.